Welcome to RBL Talks live stream of matchday 12 of the Bundesliga against Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm your host for this evening, Justin Crozer, and we'll wait for everyone to come trickling in for this evening. I've had a little bit of a error this evening, actually, with my live streaming setup. Nothing that should affect you guys, except basically aesthetics. It's only for when I have my watch-alongs for the stream start, countdown, and all that type of stuff. So we'll see if we can get that fixed during the next stream. Also, streaming this evening, we will be streaming over on YouTube, over on Twitter, over on Twitch, over on Facebook, over on Riverside for those people that can't watch the stream. So we'll also be letting in some people over there. So that's normally for Instagram and also for Blue Sky viewers. You won't have a direct feed into your apps over there, but you'll be able to watch the studio itself, which is a Riverside link, which is the software that I use. I'll be posting that across the social media channels in the next couple of minutes. Hope everyone's doing well, no matter where you are in the world. Good afternoon or good morning. I should say good evening. It's a good morning for me over here in South Australia in Adelaide. So it's going to be a wet day by the looks of things over there in Gladbach, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too much worse for the day's play. Chat is working fine. Say hello to everyone if you are there. I'm also just going to send the chat through now as well, because we also have the live stream Discord chat as well. So for the RB fans over there, you can also comment along on the chat over there. And I'll make sure to periodically check through all those. Just make sure I send it to the right thing. I just sent that into the studio myself. Make sure to chat along through the Discord as well, and I'll periodically check through the Discord through out the day. Unfortunately, with the live stream software, I wasn't able to get it up and running. It was going to be trialing out new software, and I was going to try to integrate the Discord chat straight away, but we won't be able to do that. So hi Ballum as well from East London. And actually from a southwest place, Southwest Lawson. Okay. Actually, no, I do have Red Bull cans. They're actually in the fridge. I haven't grabbed them yet. So what I'll do is give me 3 seconds and I'll go grab it. There you go. Got to keep up the image as well. Neil, it's bloody freezing. Come on, RB. Welcome to the stream over there, Neil, wherever you are from. It's actually a little bit colder here in Australia as well. We've had like 22 millimeters of rain yesterday. So that was different. Yeah, no, that's fine, Bellum. Watch wherever you can get your live streams or anything like that. It doesn't matter where you're enjoying the stream from or how you're enjoying it, as long as everyone enjoys the stream. For some reason, my chats are now not disappearing after a certain time. We do have Red Bull today. That's right, Bellum. So quite interesting today for today's live stream as well. If you're just joining in, my name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast on RB Leipzig. I've been doing this since 2022. So we have a thing called Player Watch, which is where I highlight 2 players for those people who've listened to the last episode. Unfortunately, Asano Drago is out injured and will be for some time. He won't make any appearances. It won't be until the Rückrunde, which is after the Christmas break. We're also going to have two players highlighted today. Xavier Schlager steps into his role, which was what was expected. So he's on player watch for RBL. And for Borussia Mönchengladbach, for the Foals, it's going to be, I've forgotten his name. I think it was Haris Tabovic or Tabakovic or something like that. So I've probably butchered that. I probably actually said it correctly on the podcast, to be honest. But yes, today butchered it, but that's okay. So Berlin, nice of you to join the stream over there in Germany, in Berlin. First game of the season you've missed. That's a fair effort. Well done on that one. For me, if I was over there, I'd love to go to every single game possible, especially the home games in the Red Bull Arena. So, absolutely. Welcome Cyril as well over there. That's also over on YouTube. If you do want to go into the live chat in the Discord chat, you can. If other people are going to chat on the RB Fans Discord this evening, make sure to do it on the live stream chat channel of the RB Fans Discord. I can't highlight those though, just so everyone is aware. But if you still want to participate that way, by all means, go for it. I will highlight that as much as I possibly can. Let's see if I can open the chat here. Okay, that was an old one. So a couple of things as well, bit of admin stuff before we get into the show or the live stream this evening. If you want to listen to the podcast and follow the show and subscribe, it's all down on the links in the descriptions. If you're watching this over on, I think it's Twitch or over on X, it might not be in descriptions, but you'll be able to find those links over on the profile page over on the channel. The host is Libsyn, but you can find the podcast on pretty much all major podcasting networks. If there isn't, you can get the RSS feed directly from the rbltalk.com website. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you want to join the RB Fans Discord, the RB Fans Discord, you can do that as well. There's a link there which is for free. And if you would like to join the free Patreon as well, or if you want to become an RBL Talk member for the price of less than a coffee a month, I think it's like €3 or something like that. You get ad-free episodes, early access to everything, advance notice of these live streams, advance notice of guests, ability to watch those guest interviews live and ask them recordings. By all means, sign up. It's non-negotiable. It just, I should say not non-negotiable. It is completely optional. You are able to sign up if you like, or if you don't like, it just helps me out. Cover the costs of running the podcast and doing all this stuff that I give to every single one of you. But now that the game is underway, we can get the stream score up and go from there. Apparently, I've also got Streamlabs stream in here to this evening. I don't know why. So, we can just get rid of that. So, I was going to use that. I'm just going to get rid of that Discord bot there. Sorry about that, everyone. Just give me a quick tick. There is a way I can get rid of that. So Ballum, don't worry about the... where are we? Basic info. Community moderation, there we go. User management. Content control, no. Channel guidelines, no. Permissions, no. That's very interesting. Okay. I'll just go in here and get rid of the Streamlabs bot now over on Streamlabs. This is going to be a tough game this evening as well with Gladbach. They are 3 wins on the bounce, and I don't see them being a pushover or anything like that. So it's going to be quite interesting. So there we go. Just turn this off. Turn that off. There we go. Do apologize for any sort of little bot there from Streamlabs. It was thinking it still had control over my stuff. Unfortunately, won't be using Streamlabs for my live streaming software due to the fact of it just wasn't suitable. So let's have a look. So everyone over on YouTube and Twitch, the Streamlabs bot is now disabled, so you should all be okay with putting out whatever you like. I think, Ballum, only some of your post came through, so it should now be okay. Yeah, as Ballum says, Streamlabs think they own RBL Talk. Yep, unfortunately for them, it's independently owned, and no one owns RBL Talk except technically me, by all that means. But it's for every single one of you fans, and let's crack some cans. I'm a little bit disappointed that Diamande is actually starting this evening, as he has a broken nasal fracture. I mean, it's not as bad as when Antonio Nusa was playing with a broken arm or a fracture in the arm, which a break is normally a clear break. A fracture is normally a small break in the bone. So, I mean, I don't think we should be risking Diamande, but, he always has that X factor as well. So, if you want to post anything else there, Ballum, because there was a long post that didn't get posted, if you can be able to copy that as well so I can read that. As, yes, there is an under 16 social media ban in Australia that showed up on social media. That is something that the government here has decided to do. Me personally, I'm all for it in a sense, but it's also sort of taking away your freedoms. Me personally, I've been saying that it should be something that the parents should be parenting, not the governments. But I am for that. Children shouldn't be on social media, especially under the age of 13. But then that takes away things like this, which is creative content for RB fans, because I don't discriminate on how old an RB fan is who wants to watch this, whether they're in their later years in life, or if they're like 8 9 years old or something like that. So I've even had a couple of young fans from around the world that have wanted to come on the show, and I've had just asked them for parents' opinions and things like that, obviously for parental waivers and things. And they've said, well, they're not allowed to, but they're allowed to use their social media account or something and post to the show and still be involved that way. So that sort of takes it out completely. So I guess in Australia, we don't really have many RB Leipzig fans. I'm pretty much the only one that I know of. But, if that becomes a global thing, then it's a little bit disappointing. But, there's always going to be the email option and things like that anyway. So I do what I can regarding all laws and things like that to make sure that everyone still, is able to include themselves into RBL talk segments and things like that, and have their, say and be quite vocal on how the team is progressing. Speaking of the team progressing at the moment, Gladbach have a free kick just coming into the 7th minute. And Tabakovic just had one of his first touches of the ball today, by looks of things. And David Raum has the ball now on the left-hand side. So I think we need to be focusing more on the left. We haven't been doing that a lot. We've been actually going down the right. But I'd like to see Antonio Nusa get a bit more on the ball, as he's had a couple of passes there quite deep, to be honest. So having a look at some of the chat. Brief repeat. So, is there an under 16 social media ban in Australia? Are you over 8? Are you over 16? How was your birthday the other day? Did you celebrate by drinking any can of Red Bull energy drink? No. So my birthday was pretty quiet, pretty chill. I didn't do much, just stayed off social media, played video games, got some things I had to get done around the house and things like that. I normally pretty keep my stuff like down low, as much as possible. And yes, I am over 16. I am now in my mid 30s, so I probably look even older than that. Um, and yeah, as Balaam says, email, website, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Discord. So many ways to get in touch and keep up. Yeah, absolutely. I do as much as I can. Some people have even said I needed a social media team. um, and while Neil's just said something, I would like to um, mention it as well while I highlight it just in a moment. Big ups to you, Zia Talks. Um, Neil says, I have to say, Baum will score tonight. So if that's the case, who do you think is going to um, who do you think is going to score tonight? So what are some of your predictions, everyone? So we'll just leave Neil's prediction there at the moment, as it looks like we're going to have a free kick in a dangerous position. This is definitely in David Raum territory, um, but I don't know about Baum. So let's see what the captain can do. Strikes, and it's over the crossbar, out for a goal kick. A little bit of a sider there for our captain. So yep, Zia Talks. It's been a minute. I haven't spoken to you in a while, and yep, I did say 2-1 win. 2-0, 2-1. I was going more of a 2-1 win on my podcast. So I do think that it's going to be a bit of a tough game. I don't think it's going to be just, end-to-end stuff. There's going to be periods where you're going to have some of the teams here break it open, but I don't think there's going to be a goal fest or anything like that. And it's offside there from David Raum. He's offside by a country mile over there as well. I reckon he was probably all the way back in Leipzig with the distance there. What's going on? I think I've got the Discord chat going on as well. So, have a look back at some comments. Cyril says 1-0 win. Yep, and Zia Talks also says that we have stepped up from the 6-0 loss, to be fair. Absolutely. I mean, when you're going to play pretty much the best team in Germany and almost in Europe, considering what's happened just recently with Bayern München, we were nowhere near, full strength, and we're still not now. So just give me a quick tick. The score does not want to show up. There we go. I see that a few people have enjoyed my sarcasm there when I said he's all the way back in Leipzig there for the amount of room that David Raum was offside in. It'd be interesting to see a little bit more of Conrad Harder today as well, as he's just been fouled. The young Danish international, he's not too bad. He's playing a different role than his normal role, and he really wants the minutes. So look for him to. It's not going to be as fluid and as quick to get the transitions and goal attack going forward, because Romulo is a hold up player, and he's got a keen eye for a pass, and he's got the knack of being in poaching, goal positions, where Harder is more of someone that's going to run all day. So he's still getting in good positions. He's just got himself offside though. For those people wondering as well, there was a protest of silence due to security and things like that over in Germany when it comes to stadium. You know, what's the word? Like stadium. I guess like all the pyrotechnics and things like that, and they're trying to clamp down and almost get rid of like the ultras and things like that. So, or that's what it seems like anyway. It's like a soft takeover to get to slowly push that out of the game. And quite frankly, like I'm actually being very vocal and disappointed about how RB Leipzig have pretty much banned pyros from our own stadiums. So I think that's one thing that makes the Bundesliga very special. And if you should be able to do it in a safe manner, and a lot of people do that in a safe manner. So and when it's not organized correctly, then you have accidents and things like that. So and that comes both onto club and and fans. There needs to be a bit more communication there. Turn around and say, like, hey, look, we've got this many fireworks. We plan to set it off here or here, and then maybe not even have it choreographed throughout the game. But like, oh, we might even let it off. That's a fantastic save from Galachi there. Tabakovic almost could have gotten his head to that and would have made it very interesting. There's something of note there from Cyril. Let's just try and change the time here. There we go, to 20 seconds. So I wonder if having Schlager as an 8 will reduce our offensive outputs. So this is the thing with the two different profiles of Schlager and Ordrago. Ordrago is going to turn around and do something special. He's going to run box to box. He's going to break the lines. He's going to smash the high line. And he's going to end up being a player that drags the opposition in because of his just natural ability. Now, Xavier Schlager does something similar. He's going to drag not just only other opposition players in, but he's also going to drag in his other players, so all his teammates. So what I've likened the pitch is Schlager's someone where he sets the midfield. So if you can imagine a midfield three, and wherever Schlager is, then you're going to have the players around him in the best possible positions because Schlager pretty much commands that area. As for the actual offensive output, he's not going to contribute as much as, say, Ordrago would by sheer numbers of goals or assists, but he's going to help our actual shape going forward into the final third and also in our build-up play. So that's what I would be looking for. So as you can see on your screens, Schlager is running up on the top half of your screens in the midfield three. He's just near the second top player. He's coming into central area now. So he's just made a challenge, but put some pressure on, I should say. So that's what you'll get from Xavier Schlager. So there might be a little bit of a less output, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. So there we go. As Neil says, so a little bit more on the protesting for the stadium bans. It's for facial recognition and email tickets. Basically, they're pro hooliganism. They call it fan culture, but in reality, it is pro hooliganism. That's why at the game last week, RBL fans were saying before the 12 minutes. So yeah, that's a lot more. Thank you for that, Neil, for a little bit of extra information on that as well. I'm all for like digitization and things like that, but for me, it's also about like you need to have the option. You can't just go full digital with stuff. And the same thing with like security with facial recognition and things like that. Like, if you're going to have facial recognition and things at football, what's the point? Like you should have them at shopping centers and things. You know, like if you're looking for people who are doing the wrong thing or have arrest warrants, or that's what it's like here in Australia, then you don't need to have them in, you know, your football stadiums and things like that. You know, and you can't turn around and say the same thing about, um, you know, like the act on terror and things like that, because they're not just going to go to stadiums and things. They're going to go elsewhere. You're gonna pick up these people, you know, coming into the countries. You got facial recognition in the airports, like. Yeah, it's a little bit, just a bit too much with everything going at, you know, very high surveillance and things like that. And you know, I'm all for upping and making sure that, you know, the people and things are safe. But you know, there's you go too far sometimes, and you know, I'm with the fans protesting. So just coming into the 20th minute, or I should say the 19th minute, almost 20th minute, and the fans here in Borussia Park are starting to make themselves quite vocal, and they're pressing a little bit here, but there's a foul there on Baumgartner, and we'll just reset. And Engelhardt. So we've got Neil saying today that Baumi will score. Anyone else wants to put any predictions in, make sure you also put them through. Welcome to everyone else coming in to the stream as well, wherever you are watching this, whether you're watching this over on excuse me, whether you're watching this over on YouTube, over on Twitch, over on Facebook, or if you're watching this over on Twitter as well, or X, however you want to call it. If you are watching it over there on Twitter, just make yourself known that I can't actually see your chat. So if you do want to, you know, to like it and retweet it and things like that, I do appreciate it. But please make sure to go to one of the other channels to participate with the stream. Sorry, just putting out the post there on the people over there for Twitter, so that way they can make sure that they do get involved as well. I think there will be 0-0. No, actually, I'm going to retract that. I think it's going to be a 1-0 score coming into the halftime break. It will be interesting to find out which team actually does get in there. Noosa is really loving that dart into the left-hand side and the cut back onto the right foot to open up the angle. Although he is starting to, you know, always get the defender though, so he just needs to work on that one a little bit. Also, I didn't ask everyone this evening. I hope you're all well. I do apologise for not asking that from the beginning. And also, can you hear me correctly as well? A little bit of a sound check. So I think it sounds okay, but that's obviously on my end, and you know, on your end is the end that matters. So let me know if everything's all good and how you're going. If you would like to have any general chat or anything like that throughout as well, not just football chat, then by all means, you know, go through. So I do like our shape here, and that we're squeezing the foals with no room. Here's a good cutback by route. See, I don't know if that was a shot or that was supposed to be a cross. I'm going to say he'd be trying to cross there. He just got underneath it and went over the crossbar there, but see, I don't mind us pushing forward in that way, But when we're going to push it forward that way, we need to make sure we have better end product. Obviously, that shot there, or I should say that delivery from David Raum is, a once out of 10 way he's doing it. And I don't know how Lekeba gets is fouling there when he got tunnelled. But sure, we'll just forget that we saw that. You shouldn't be able to be tunnelling in that way, but sure, that's fine. Thank you for that, Neil and Cyril, for the sound check. Cyril says we wish we played Gladbach when they were still in poor form. Thought we were meaning us. I was going to say, hold on, that's counterintuitive almost. Yeah. Well, they were missing a couple of key players early on in the season, and they've technically still missing a couple of key players. But everything started to work for them, with the new managerial appointment and everything like that as well. So, as they've got a corner here, it just means that we're opening up the the Bundesliga weekend with a decent game. It's not going to be like an easy 3-0 or anything like that. It's interesting to see. Oh, it's Honorat. I was going to say I thought this was Tabakovic for a minute. I mean, I guess I also touched a little bit on Honorat as well in the podcast. For those that listen to the podcast on a regular basis, if the person's watching who left a Spotify comment as well, thank you for the feedback as well. They quite liked the little bit of shorter podcast episode without compromising too much on quality, is pretty much what they said. To not quote them exactly, but got the gist of what they said. It's a very busy week for me, so I did about 60 hours work of my day job as well. So that's the reason why I wasn't going too statistically heavy into it with a tactical deep dive, so to speak, for the last podcast episode. That being said, though, I am trying to find a middle ground at the moment as well, without compromising anything. So that way it just doesn't overwhelm the listener as well. Because not everyone, loves, statistics and things like that. But I still want to put the point across of that, I do a little bit of homework. I look at the statistics and go from there and seeing, how teams are, naturally, like good or weak or things like that. So without overwhelming the listener, and also it gives people more of an opportunity who, want to get behind the tactics and things like that, but don't have any knowledge, so they step into it and start listening to the podcast, and they don't feel like they're lost or anything like that. Which is really good challenge there from Costello Jr., by the way, who just gone through on social media a few days ago is actually his fees coming down for his release clause. I think it's going to be 65 million euro, something like that, next season, or it's going to 80 or something like that. And then eventually he's probably going to be leaving. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more of young Chad El Bishebu throughout the season and next season. And if we actually get a replacement centre-back. So Neil says, I'm quite pleased about it being a Friday. Gives us a day extra rest before Magdeburg on Tuesday. Yeah, absolutely. I completely forgot about the Pokal Cup game, to be honest. So for those people that are new to the stream or new to the podcast, I try and do a live stream once a month as a bare minimum. I might do a stream for that one. I haven't decided yet, so... basically anyone that's on the Patreon will know before anyone, so, or it might just be a surprise stream. I might literally just get up and go, you know what, I'm going to do it. So but I agree with you, Neil. It's definitely good to have it on a Friday, so you've got more days in between. Come on, harder, do some. Ugh. Yeah, I think he should have gone for the shot there. Has he got himself onside here? No, he was offside. Coming into the 29th minute, almost 30 minutes gone in the first half. I wasn't offside, I just came off of an RBL player last. Oh, fair enough. What's while we're on to it, what's the go with Xavier Schlager? What are we all thoughts? Like, do we think that he's too injury prone and we should get rid of him? Do you think he's been a great servant for the club? Do you want to extend his contract? What's your thoughts? I mean, I would like to keep him personally, if he can get his body right. That being said, there's been semi talks that he doesn't want to stay. He doesn't want to renew his contract. And I've always been a big believer of, like, look, if you don't want to stay for, I mean, I know we're only a young club and technically we're a small club in the, grand scheme of things. But if you don't want to stay at the club or play for the club, then I don't want you at the club. It's as simple as that. But I'm also a big believer as well that if you want to do something else, so for instance, David Raum has said that he wanted to, play in Premier League and wants to challenge himself at a different level, then I'm all for that as well. So, we'd be pretty, for lack of better terminology, up ourselves, which is like Australian slang. I'm not too sure if anyone else is aware of it. So, thinking that we're better than everyone else or something like that, or more, we're entitled to, not let a player, want to follow their dreams. You should always follow your dreams. Doesn't matter what you do. So, if a player wants to go challenge themselves, then by all means we should, allow them to do so. But depending on who the player is as well, we should also be greatly compensated. So you don't want to, let what you don't want to let your captain David Raum, one of the best left backs in the world, go to Liverpool or the Premier League somewhere for a corn chip, So you want to be compensated. You want to make sure that you get what equal value at least of what he's worth. I don't know what you call that clearance, Baku, but it was a clearance, I guess. And Gladbach are pushing. It's a good challenge there by Harder, actually. He's going to run all day. Coming into the 32nd minute, still 0-0. And looks like the Fogs here are going to have a bit of a break. We've got plenty of very heavy touch there from Honorat. Tabakovic couldn't get anywhere near that. He's going to probably get a second bite at the cherry, though. But a good defensive shape from RBL made it a bit difficult there for them to try to get anything. Now, this is the ball you don't want to... There we go. Nice, easy catch from Peter Galacci. I was going to say, just about to say that this was going to be the dangerous ball, which was the cross in. Ideally, for a cross, you want to get in front of the keeper and you want to attack the near post, depending on the goalkeeper's positioning, and be able to get it in there. Because that way, if you do it quick, and very swiftly, then you're not going to end up having the goalkeeper get a chance on it. If you take your time or you don't do it quick enough, then a goalkeeper that is naturally very good. I mean, any goalkeeper worth their wage shouldn't be beaten at the near post anyway. But if you can do it quickly, that's when you have the best opportunity because the goalkeeper is got the position, but then you need to rely on his reactions. So unless you're getting it directly at him, like with a kick or a header directly at the keeper, then you're really having to rely on him to have that really reflex action when he's not going to be able to, you know, end up saving the ball and he's going to end up picking up at the net. And there we go, as what Neil says, we were touching on earlier about players. Xavi thought he was too good for us. He went to Tottenham, so far has flopped big time. The fans are all over his back. Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, the young lad is a fantastic footballer, but he's got a massive ego. And look, the top footballers do have egos. I mean, you'd even look at Lionel Messi and think, oh, he doesn't have an ego. He's quite humble and things like that. But no, he's got an ego. There's a difference between having skills and ability to back it up, though, and there's also having an ego. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, top footballer, fantastic, but he's got one of the massive egos in world football. And rightfully so, though. He talks the talk and he backs it up. And that's the thing with Xavi. He didn't want to be there. I was like, no, get rid of him. And we're actually better without Xavi in the team. As I was saying quite often for people that have listened to the podcast on a regular basis, or for those that don't, I was saying that Xavi was like a double-edged sword. He's a fantastic footballer. He's able to do moments of brilliance. You want him to do Xavi things, but if you're going to over rely on one player's natural ability and his ability to change the game, you're not going to do much about it. So, and we've done a lot better now that we've gone back to a team than we have just relying on single individual brilliance of players. And as Cyril says, absolutely nothing short of 70 million for Realm. Yeah, I could agree with that. That's not, because you're playing. Also, got to pay for the fact of nice shots. As I was saying, we've got a 70 million for Realm isn't too far fetched. What that would for Premier League, yeah, they'll definitely slap that up. But depending on other places in world football, you might be asking a little bit too much there. But for me, 70 million is a decent assessment for the simple fact of, let's say he's worth maybe 50, and then you add on the 20 million because you have to outpay for his contract, and then you also add on top of the importance of the player in the team. That normally makes the valuation higher as well. It's not just market value, which is what a lot of people just rely on, but market value is just the base. Just because it says, like Transfer Market says they're worth like 20 million doesn't mean that they're going to be 20 million. I think a lot of people were saying about Asano Drago recently that, he's only got a market valuation of, I can't remember what they said exactly, but it's like low, like 30, 40 million or something. And, then the reports are like RB Leipzig would sell him for 100 million or something like that. He's not for sale, obviously, but, you look at it and I think obviously 100 is probably a bit too much when it comes to his injuries and things like that. He might be a injury prone player like how Danny Olmo was, and for us as well. And then you have to look at the evaluation of it for, is he a 100 million player for the times he's on the pitch? All right. Very rarely were you going to be able to say that a player that's only playing maybe 70% of game time throughout the season is going to be a $100 million player. Unless you know for a fact that you bring him on for 30 minutes and at even a, 80% fit player, that he's going to deliver you that moment of brilliance, that goal, that, ability to turn the game. So, and that's what then sticks the value at 100 million. And then also clubs look at it as well from a point of, they need to make money. At the end of the day, excuse me, At the end of the day, football's all about money. You know, clubs got to generate revenue. Players need to be compensated. You know, the players. Some people forget as fans that we're watching people do their job. You know, obviously they're professional athletes. They've been training their whole entire lives to to play football, but at the end of the day, this is their job. You know, they're being paid wages on a weekly basis, whether they play or not, to to do a job. And yeah, thank you, Cyril, on that nice point out there on the distinction between market value and actual transfer fee. Yeah. Also, just a little bit on top of that one as well. The 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 clubs themselves don't actually get the full fee as well. So, for instance, if a player sells for 100 million, you've got manager fees, you've got obviously payout of contract, you've got a few other things. So, a team might actually only be able to bank like say 60 million of that, depending on all those other bits and pieces. So, and I think normally the biggest thing of that is the manager fee. So like the player managers, so their agents basically the agent fee. So that's normally the biggest one. So with 5 minutes to go, what is your likes and dislikes of the half so far? Let me know down in the comments section below, wherever you are watching and or listening to this live stream. I haven't liked the fluidity of our transitions. I think they've been a bit more stagnant. It hasn't been as fluid. I think that we're rushing it a little bit. We need to probably take a little bit more time on the ball, because once the foals have their block in and they have their defensive shape set, you're not going to break it. It's going to be very hard. You're going to need a player like Nusa or Diamande to break the line, which is what was tried just a second ago. So when that happens, then I'm happy to, you know, concede a little bit of space and just, um, pass the ball across the face of goal. With forward passing, maybe taking a little bit of territory back as well, just to reset and then push forward more as well. What I have liked though is, um, you know, the sorry, just watching a little bit of the play there. What I have liked is that we're getting a lot of players on the ball, like including Nusa, and that okay, he's still on his feet. I thought that might have been a pen. Um, I have liked the integration slowly of Schlager. Diamande just absolutely throwing that into the kick, or should say, kicking that out of the stadium almost. I think his eyes just lit up there. Um, I'm going to say that's a foul every day of the week penalty, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Um, I'm saying that's a penalty for two reasons. One, I'm going to be biased to RBL, of course, but from a tactical standpoint, the defender is in front of the attacker and he's trying to shield him off, and then he doesn't do it correctly and he clearly fouls him. So, due to the poor technique, Antonio Nusa does absolutely well to stay up on the pitch as much as possible, and he can't do that. And because he does that, they stop a clear goal scoring opportunity. So therefore, it's not a red, but it's still a foul in the box. Therefore, penalty. Pretty simple. Um, so I understand the defender's trying to put a bit of pressure on him, put a bit of body onto him, but you can't foul him when you do that either. So, but hey, look, if that's the way the referee wants to referee it, then that's fine. But if you start, going away from that, the official now has set the guideline, I guess you could say. Now, it means that he's going to let the 50-50 ones go. So if we're getting a 50-50 foul, now we're going to have to start to question the thing. And as Neil says, there we go. If the tackle on Noosa was outside the box, it was 100% a free kick. Well, there you go. Well, if it's a free kick outside the box, it's a penalty, isn't it? You're not going to turn around and say it's not. Like, it doesn't matter where the foul is; it's still a foul. So, we'll see if we actually get any favors going our way. So, considering sometimes the officials also, are more lenient in favor of the home team than the away team. So, I don't think there's any bias in that at the moment. But he's laid down his guideline. Let's go from there. Nice dribbling run here from Noosa. Now, this is what I was on about before when I was saying that if we don't want to rush it. Before we were going too fast. Now that we've kept the ball and we've gone around, that's a foul. Okay. From first glance, that looked like a poor challenge there. I'd like to see that again. All right, now that we've gotten the ball in a good position, we need to be quicker, and Baumi, yeah, that's a foul. Don't. Oh. This is a kid-friendly stream. I don't have the soundboard to bleep things, so. It's a little annoying that Baumgartner is the first person to be booked today. Definitely a foul. I don't think it was worth a yellow, but sure, we'll go with that. I mean, it's not saying it's not a yellow card. I'm saying that if the referee was going to be lenient with the Noosa challenge, then, well, maybe you should be lenient when it comes to your outfield challenges as well. All right. Well, the official gets in Noosa's way. I think David Raum's going straight to the official and is letting him know about that too. No, mate, you're in the way. I know you need to be on the pitch, but you also need to make sure you're not impeding the frickin' play. Right? So what happens when you impede the play? Right? It's called drop ball. I reckon it's probably one of the worst officials I've seen in the Bundesliga. Or at least this evening. Well, as it stands at the halftime break, it is 0-0. We've had some interesting things happen through the game. I'm just going to go bring up the stats at the moment. And then we can highlight the player watch players as well through this game. And we can see how they're traveling throughout. Just getting rid of all the ads. So while we're doing the halftime break, we can make sure that if you would like to get involved with the podcast, you can comment along on the live stream. You can look up how to get involved with the RBL Talk segment, where I ask for the fans, which is every single one of you, your opinions on the game, and then I read them out on the show. If you would like to send it as an audio message, up to 90 seconds of actual spoken submission, you can do that as well through SpeakPipe. We've had a couple of submissions already. Cyril's done a couple as well. And I've quite enjoy when I hear the actual fans themselves, so you can actually be heard on the show without being a special guest on the show as well. But if you want to be a special guest as well, you can do that as well. This podcast is for every single RBL fan around the world. Doesn't matter if you're young, if you're old, or anything like that. So let me know what you think of the half, and we'll go from there. So I normally would put a splash screen up around now, but for some reason I wasn't able to upload them today. I changed the color scheme a little bit along with the podcasting stuff. It doesn't want to process the files apparently, so yeah, just something I have to work on for that. So if I do step away from the stream, I'll just shut off the camera until we come back. And for some reason the overlay wasn't up either. There we go. Welcome to the RBL Talk podcast stream. If you're just joining in, the score is 0-0 on the first game of match day 12. We are the curtain raiser for match week 12. Let me know what you think of the half so far. We're currently streaming over through Riverside, through YouTube, X or Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Just interesting to see something here. I'll also take your questions and comments as well throughout the game and highlight them as well. We've already had some great interactions from people like Neil and a few others as well. Cyril, Ballum, Zia Talks, and a few others as well. So you can also enter the chat on Riverside. I did post that through on the Discord chat, which I'll go through the Discord now, actually. We haven't had a look through that, see if anyone's having chats through the live stream Discord, and see if anything is worth highlighting in there. Just leave that open so it dings off if I need to. And we'll have a look at some of your questions. Cyril says, a boring half. We've hardly been a threat, but we're defending pretty nicely. I can absolutely agree with that. I haven't really done a whole lot in terms of attacking. It'd be interesting to find out, which I'm going to go through in a moment and just see where the teams are playing on the pitch. It does seem that we are playing a lot more. We're playing less compact than the Foals. The Foals are playing very compact in the middle of the park, where they're blocking that avenue from going into the goals. We do normally push wide anyway and make use of the wings and wing play, but where Xavier Schlager really shines, who's also on player watch, and the other is Tabakovic. We'll go into those players in a moment and see how they're traveling throughout this game. But if they're taking away the central channel, then you're pretty much able to just push your shape either to the left or the right, depending on how the team is pushing forward. So I can't seem to find a heat map for the game. Found every other statistic under the sun. Here we go. So the Foals are going down the left-hand side, sorry, I should say their right-hand side a lot more often. They're also got the lowest concentration of play, ironically enough, on that same side. So they're trying to catch us out on the break on the right-hand side. And our left-hand side, I should say. So they're trying to catch us out on the left-hand side, which we have seen a lot of Atenu Noosa this evening and David around with overlaps down on the left. And Folan are trying to go and get on the break and go down that same side. A couple of noteworthy stats here is that both shots are pretty even, 6 and 4, 2 in favour of RBL. We haven't had a single corner, which, yep, that's correct, obviously, which is a bit mind-boggling. You'd think that we'd probably be able to earn a corner. I mean, we're not the fantastic with set pieces, but we're a lot better than we were last season. Both teams have had 5 fouls each, although it is only Christoph Baumgartner that is booked. He was booked on the stroke of half-time in the 45th minute. And it's pretty even pretty much throughout the rest of all the stats. 5 free kicks each. We've done more challenges. We've had 5 extra tackles. No team has had a shot on target. So as Cyril was saying, it's pretty boring. So that would, that explains it there as well. Excuse me. The big stat I do want to highlight, which is where the team needs to improve upon, is that, as you can see here, I can't actually do that. Can't do a screen share, but if we have a look at the stats, you can use something like a live score or FootMob or sofa score or something like that, whatever statistical place you'd like to go to, Opta or something. Shots inside the box, we've got 3 for the Foals, and they're obviously the home team. RB Leipzig 1, and we've had 5 shots outside the box, where it's the complete opposite for Gladbach, and they've had 1 outside the box. That's where we need to improve upon. Obviously, the further out you are from goal, you have less of a chance of scoring. You can occasionally catch the defense or the goalkeeper napping, but I personally like to have more shots from inside the box than outside the box, for the simple fact of you have less room for error and deviation. So, if you're shooting from distance, obviously you've got travel, you've got deflections, you've got more time for the keeper to react. It's not in your favour unless you really, really hammer a ball out from a thunderous strike. So I like to have my shots more closer to goal. That's somewhere I want us to improve upon in the second half. Also, let me know where you would like the team to improve upon, and anything else down in the chats as well down below. The passes in the final third, we've had 67, 66 for Gladbach, and that's pretty well. We've had 4 attempted crosses, and none of them have come off. I think they're probably all from David Raum. I don't really recall a cross coming from the right-hand side, so I'd like to see a little bit more of Rydal Baku with more delivery as well. I mean, it is going to be not something that is our strength with Romelu out, as we don't really have a bit of height up there in the attacking third. So would like to see at least some sort of crosses for switching of play. And then even if it's just the person who is receiving the cross isn't the one actually going for goal, they pass it or head it on or something like that for the final shot there. And then defensive, as Cyril touched upon, we've actually defended quite well. We've got 15 clearances, almost double the amount of what the Foals have done. So that is pretty much your generalization of the stats for this evening. And we'll have a look at the player watch players, and we'll start with the hosts first, with the Foals. So the player watch players this evening was Haris Tabakovic and Xavier Schlager. I'm just going to post that up now while we talk about it because I didn't do anything for that. There we go. We'll do it this way so that way people can understand it who are first-time viewers or new. So player watch battle is Tabakovic for Borussia Mönchengladbach and Xavier Schlager for RB Leipzig. Having a look at Haris Tabakovic, both players have played 46 minutes. And having a look through their statistics, let's go through the full. So the biggest difference here is that no player has had a shot at the moment at goal, and so that is pretty much wiping out most of their attacking. 18 touches for Tabakovic, 25 for Xavier Schlager. Both have had an unsuccessful dribble at the moment. Tabakovic was fouled once, has lost possession 9 times. Xavier Schlager has lost possession 7 times, has not been fouled, and he's had only 1 of 2 successful dribbles. For the passing section, both have passed relatively okay. Of Xavier Schlager is a lot better, 50% actually for Tabakovic. 7 of 14 passes have come off, 4 in the final third or the opposition half, so in our defensive half, and 3 in the defensive area for Tabakovic. So Schlager has had 7 of 11 passes in the opposition half, so our attacking third or attacking half, and has only had 6 in the defensive. But he's done well when it comes to his passing accuracy. Like to see him get a little bit improved there. He's 1-2 tackles. The biggest one here is the duels. So Tabakovic is better in the air. He's won 4 of 5 aerial duels. Schlager 1 of 2. Ground duels, it's the opposite. Xavier Schlager's won 3 of 5, and Tabakovic has won 1 of 4. Both have committed a foul. No booking. The only booking was Christoph Baumgartner in the 45th minute. And 1 dribbled past for Haris Tabakovic, which means he was not able to make a challenge or anything like that. So right now it's excuse me. Right now I would say it's probably close to even Steven when it comes to Tabakovic and Xavier Schlager in player watch. But what do you think of the player watch duel so far? Do you think that it's going to get better? Do you think Schlager's going to win it? Do you think Tabakovic will? Do you think there'll be some goals in the second half? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And again, Streamlabs is being an absolute pest. I'm going to apologize for that. And as Ballum says, go away, Streamlabs. I'm going to turn around and say that the comment probably went through. I don't know why it's doing that. I might have to just unfollow Streamlabs or something. Let me just go to YouTube, Ballum, and I'll get to your comment in just a quick tick, so don't stress about that. As the crowd boos as RB Leipzig go onto the pitch. Streamlabs. Apparently I'm not subscribed to their channel, so I don't know why they're still trying to do what they're doing, which is interesting. I guess Streamlabs likes to stick around. um, I'll have a look at the chat now. Actually, just give me a quick tick. So while I'm just doing a little bit of back end stuff here, let me know your thoughts on the game so far down in the comment section below. I will get to some of your comments in a quick moment. I might just have to disconnect it completely from the channel here. It says connected. Can I just do this? Let's go account settings. Integrations. Is that a thing? No. Yeah, I turned it off, the Streamlabs stuff, so I don't know why it's still trying to do its thing. I mean, I know it is connected, but it's not. What I might have to do is go into my Google account settings really quick and see if that's got a connection there or something. As the second half has started, and we will get into the comments as well. And where is it? Google's changed all their stuff. See all connections. No? That's alright. We'll just have to stick around with Streamlabs for this evening, and then I'll fix it at the back end after this evening. So, Ballum says, after a while, we're live watching Red Bull on a laptop after a 20-minute update wait. Watching RBL talk on my phone, Borussia Mönchengladbach and being compact. Yep, they have. Streamlabs just is going to have some random chats. They are booing Red Bull, most hated team in Germany. Absolutely. I don't mind a little bit of controversy. I've never regretted my decision to be an RB Leipzig fan over the 15 plus years that it has been. So ideally, no draw or defeat for Leipzig. They need a win away for confidence. Absolutely. You said it's a draw. It's just literally changed. Welcome to the stream. It is actually a goal for Gladbach, as Honorat, I believe, has scored. So I didn't actually get to see that. I'm going to watch the replay here. So it's actually a nice cross from Gladbach over. There's a 3-on-3, and David Raum is caught ball napping. But it does look like there's a deflection off of Raum. So Raum should have gone, deflection off of Raum. But it is actually Raum who was caught out of position. It's the only thing I've ever said that for David Raum is that sometimes he does get caught out of position. That's no knock on his positioning or the back three's positioning from this goal here. But it's once he's trying to put pressure on the attacker there. What he needs to do is not press, because he already had two players on that side. They could have made the press. He should have, instead of pressing the player, he should have then gone back to his man, which was Honorat, and then put more pressure on him and running with him towards the goal, which then would have either made the goal happen. We might be lucky. We might be scrubbed out, but I think it's going to stand. So there you go. It is offside. So David Raum is saved. David Raum is saved by an offside. So he is very lucky. He is very lucky, David Raum. Yeah, as I was saying, he needs to make sure that in that case, he needs to not press. Because the wrong decision there was pressing. He needs to go back to his man and the eventual goal scorer who got rubbed out, Unarat. And then that goal probably wouldn't have actually come through, or it would have made it a lot harder. Speaking of harder, there's going to be a cross and be looking for him for a header. So the chat has gone absolutely ballistic. So let's have a look at the chat. So it was Honorat who goaled, and it was taken back. The goal was taken back for an offside decision after checked by VAR. As Ballum has said, offside, lucky Leipzig, they were split open in defence, as they say. German referee did explain to everyone in German. Yep, absolutely. And it is a wake-up call for Red Bull. I mean, I would say that, I don't mind that the refs actually explain to the fans in the stadium. But, it is German football. What can I say? It would be nice for them to explain it in English in the top spiel and the opener, like the Friday night games. But, literally by skin of teeth. So we've got still 0-0 going in the 52nd minute. We are attacking down this right-hand side a bit more, like I requested. Getting back well, getting a decent shape. Looking like a back five at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. We're getting, that's better. It's Cyborg that's dropping in as a 5th or 3rd centre-back. And Baku is getting a booking. So for those that are unaware, once you receive your 5th yellow card, you do miss a game due to suspension, due to racking up too many yellow cards. So Baku's got just a couple more before that happens, as the Foals have a free kick here in a pretty dangerous position, depending on delivery. Oh, it's offside as well, apparently. Flirting with a bit of danger there with the offside trap. Tabakovic almost getting the goal there and making this player watch highlighting extra interesting. Really good there from Galachi going straight in. Fantastic save. Ballum says, silly foul. Baku, yellow card. Home side been better so far in the second half in terms of chances. Absolutely. It's still pretty boring, so to speak, but as players tire and the score clock runs down, or I should say runs up, they run out of time, it looks like both teams will be pushing for that goal because both teams will want to get maximum points here. Excuse me. It's going to be a throw in on the left-hand side for RBL. Probably David Raum to take it. And it's already been played in. I've always said that we're very thin in our fullback positions, so getting our fullbacks carded or missing games with suspension is going to make things more interesting for us going forward. Again, looks like Raum's caught out, is overcommitted. Seibold has to go back. Come on, Seibold. Come on, Nicky, do something. Oh, what a... Baku gets in there and he's cut it out. We're getting carved open a couple of times here. Not acceptable for a RBL perspective. So Xavier Schlager gets rid of it, protecting the near post. So I think we need some fresh legs into the game very shortly. If it was me, I'd be putting in some subs around about the 60th minute. Having a look at the bench, we could see who we have to put on. So we have Max Fingrafe, Costa and Delkovic, Amadou Haidara, and Ezekiel Banzuzi, Andrea Maximovic, Tidium Gomes, and Johan Bakayoko. For me, I would be putting on Tidium Gomes, and I would like to say Costa and Delkovic to cover Baku there. But it'll be very interesting to see if we do get some of those players on the pitch and getting some minutes, because they haven't had a lot of minutes in this season, I should say. I was going to say obviously in this fixture, but in this season. That's better. Take a shot. Well done. They're the shots that you want Conrad Harder to be doing. How's that not a corner? How is that not a corner? It is a corner, okay. I thought they were going to take it out for a goal kick then. Round delivery. Decent delivery, but really no one there to meet it. Now the trick is to hold the ball, go across goal, Yeah, see, that's too gone too early. Players are still all over the place. Need to improve on the set pieces when we have the ball deflecting. Sometimes we need to reshape and reset and then go forward again. Schlager's on the ball to Baumgartner. To Diamande. That's a nice cut back there. Oh, wow. That final ball from Baku. Oh, wow. That we just ruined it. That's a yellow card. Schlager booked. Yellow card. Yep. Made him earn that ball. That's for sure. That's the third booking now for RB Leipzig. We've been a little bit ill-disciplined. And whenever you're going behind like that, you have to get the ball. So, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if that was going to be a red because you've got to be very careful when you're tackling from behind because you can really do some damage. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs. As Bellum says, silly yellow cards from Red Bull. Let's have a look here. What else we got? Bellum also says, last half an hour plus added additional time. Leipzig have to try and be patient. Perhaps a player from the bench could be the difference. I would say Tidium Gomes or... that was a little bit of a glitch there on my end. I would say Tidium Gomes, Johan Bakayoko, and or Costa and Delkovic, personally, from looking at the bench options. Bakayoko is probably the most likelihood of him coming on the pitch. Hell. We've got some changes coming onto the pitch. Let me see. Did I still have it on here? No, I don't. Sorry, everyone. Just having a look here to see if I can get rid of the disconnection of that bot that is annoying us. There we go. Everyone, we should be fine now when it comes to... Oh, no, it turned itself back on. So, very interesting. Just turn everything off. Get rid of it. Go away. No one wants you. There we go. We should be good now. Streamlabs should be gone. Let's have a look and see how we go in the 65th minute. That's a nice pass. That's probably would have been better when we had Romelu there. So Ballum says, Noosa being replaced. Thoughts? I don't think that was probably the right decision, in a sense. I mean, replacing one of the wingers was obviously going to happen, and that's when Bakayoko is coming on. But for me, it should have been Diomande, but yeah. Schlager's done his battle for the day for player watch. Tabkovic is still on the pitch. So I wouldn't have removed Noosa. I would have removed Diomande only for the simple fact of the broken nose, and he's not doing much today. That being said, both players, Noosa and Diomande, can turn the game in a blink of an eye in a second. So yeah, tough call because both Noosa and Bakayoko weren't really doing anything in this second half. But if you're looking at the overall perspective of the game, I think obviously Noosa's had a lot better impact. So I would have just made the like for like swap with Diomande and Bakayoko. But let's see if it works out. For those of you also looking at the rebrand, tell me what you think as well of the podcast's rebrand. I've gone for a very minimal, clean look. I know that a lot of people have already noticed it and quite enjoyed it. I just try to make sure that the artwork is still good, but without doing too much. I've also got my own little watermark now with a soccer ball logo with like a wave over it, which is to resemble a podcast cord. So just something very simple but very to the point. And then that way we can have a watermark on any sort of work of the streams and album artwork and things like that. That's a very good challenge there from Lukeba. Goal kick as well. Wow, he got that right. This is a good build-up play. Though that pass to Banzuzi was left a bit more, leaving more to be desired. Now if you can cross this in, cut back, cross, there we go. Back post, ooh. I think that's a corner. Yeah. That's a lot better. That's what we've been missing in that first half. A lot better delivery. So Diamande has switched out to the left. Bacco in his natural right. It's a bit poor from Orban. He's normally a bit better than that. As Cyril says, we probably should have subbed Diamande off. So they agree with me. And Junior is doing well. He's no longer a junior. Yes, that's right. I believe he's nicknamed that is because of his. I think he's named after his dad. To be bluntly honest. Alrighty, so we get like what, 20 minutes left at a time. Oh, what a ripping shot! I think that was a corner. That is a ripping strike from range. That would have gone in as well if that wasn't saved. That's a fantastic strike and save. RBL was probing and pushing for that goal. And we caught out though. Oh, that's fantastic by Seibold there. He's really done well, Nicholas Seibold, being pretty much a sweeper or last man in defence. His defensive contributions this season have actually upped a level compared to last season. Zia Talk says we've replaced Sesko pretty well, and that Harder is decent. Is not bad. And is also showing, Bakayoko was also showing some impact. Yep, as Cyril said earlier, Costello Senior, when we were talking about Costello Lekeba. So his dad was a footballer as well, so hence the junior moniker or nickname. So we've got just another 17 minutes or so. I think it's time for RBL to keep pushing. And I think the best avenue is still down on that right-hand side. I would like to see some more crosses from Bakayoko. We've looked very panicky in defence this evening. Don't know. We're normally a lot more solid at the back. No penalty there. Oh, you've got to be, mate. You had the chance to give Diamande a penalty earlier, and you don't. This referee. Do you not remember the challenge that you had? Right, is it a foul? Does he touch him? Whoa, barely. Barely. That's a 50-50 call. That's a 50-50 call. That's never a penalty. It's not a penalty, mate. VAR, overturn it. VAR, overturn it. VAR, overturn it. VAR, overturn it. It's not a penalty. Who is this freaking clown? Let me know your thoughts if that's a penalty in the chat wherever you're watching this. Yeah, it's not a penalty. This idiot is going to turn around and give it a penalty. He's going to give it a penalty. This guy's literally... What's his bloody name? Timo Gurak. You're going to say it's a penalty. Daniel Seibert says it's probably not a penalty. He's forcing him to have a look at it. But Timo Gurak, the idiot that gave him a penalty, is going to turn around and give him a penalty. It's never a penalty. Plays the ball. Hits the ball. And I guarantee you his idiot's going to give him a penalty. I'll be very shocked if he says no penalty. He's not going. He's going to dismiss it. No penalty. He looks so disappointed. He looks so disappointed. The referee looks so disappointed. He wanted to give a penalty. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is hilarious. He turned around and he looked so disappointed. Oh, far out. That is funny. That is absolutely funny. He can clearly see that he can't give the penalty. Oh, wow. That moment you know when you can't give the penalty. I don't know why all the home fans are screaming and upset for. This referee's trying to give you all the breaks, man. All right, RBL. Push it and get a goal. Rub it in. Oh, wow, that is hilarious. As Cyril says, huge scare. VAR man of the match from Red Bull, allegedly. Nice cheeky comment there for Ballum. As Cyril says, come on guys, please do something. And Zia Talks even says it's the right call as Orban won the ball. We've got just 11 more minutes to go. RBL need to push. Oh, wow. Get yourself back on side. Yeah. Was it Conrad Harder that was down? No, Baume. I swear that was going to be a goal. No, outside. Yeah. Oh, throw in, pressing hard, pressing well. As Yuan said, well, it hit the post. Ballum also says off the post. I actually thought it might have got on the inner side of the post and then come back out. But he's trying to get on that sweet left foot, Bakayoko. That's a shot. Nice curl. Goalkeeper's going to save that all the time, though. What's going on here? Why was it thrown out? Stop time wasting here. The Foals are doing everything they can to get something out of this. Tinium Gomez is coming onto the pitch for the final 8 minutes plus added time. This will probably be Conrad Harder that comes off, which is correct. Just doing the episode artwork for the RBL Talk segment, as that will be coming shortly after the game. You can get involved with the podcast by getting on the RBL Talk segment. You can look out for the posts that will be over on social media if you would like to get involved with the podcast during the week. Excuse me. Just making sure that I do the new and improved look of the RBL Talk segment. Haven't updated the Patreon page yet for that, so I'll be doing that very soon as well. Probably with the next monthly update as well. Excuse me. And I'll get to your comments very shortly. Where is it here? Where is this? It's not... Oh, I think I just. Yeah, whoopsie. Whoopsie daisy there. I just decided to save all of them instead of just the one page. So I've just gone to save 109 pages, which was unnecessary. There's another foul. Alrighty, now that's sorted, we can go back to what we were doing. Oh, Gamies is trying. Go back to some of the comments. Last 10 minutes, Ballum says, and we need a Leipzig goal to win this match. Absolutely. Cyril says, hit the post last game too. There's a stat there for those watching and or listening. David Raum just got a poster in the last game as well, as we go into the last 4 minutes, or 4.5, plus some added time. I mean, I would be happy to take the point, considering how things have gone. Probably should have won it. I mean, we haven't really generated a good enough chance, really, to get the points. So a draw is a fair result, so to speak. Gladbach have looked at the better team going forward. And it's disappointing that we haven't generated enough, to be honest. Do we think that there's going to be a goal in the game in the last minute and a half? Or I should say the last 3.5 minutes? Because it's starting to get to the point of playing out for the draw, which I don't like us doing. So Baku's going to slowly try and change that. Nice passing across the face of goal here. Oh, wow. Baku just overran that completely. I think the best way of attacking is down this left-hand side. Give Diamande the ball, see if he can beat a man. I don't mind this. RBL probing, just pushing. Cross it in. Cross it in. Ugh. Costello Jr. hasn't scored many goals, and that shows you why. They're going to try and Klein Deist for a couple of minutes. I'll make sure to get to your comments at the end of the stream as well. And if people would like to submit to the RBL Talk segment as well, I'll be posting those across social media channels after the podcast live stream is finished as well. coming into almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I might have a couple hours nap before work. I'm not sure yet. As Honorat comes off, as Kleindienst comes on the pitch. Liked what I've seen from Banzuzi coming onto the pitch, to be honest. Very powerful runner. .7 minutes of added time, so there's going to be a fair bit. Baku's coming off, and Klosterman's coming on for right back. This is a more defensive option. I don't mind Klosty coming on, but I don't really like him replacing Baku, though. It's a very defensive option, so this shows to me that we're going for more of a draw than we are trying to go for the win. I'd rather lose the game at this point and try to really go for that win. Even Cyril says, "I need to sleep. School on Saturday." Look, Cyril, if you got to leave early, man, like you leave early, that's fine. School on a Saturday is harsh. Is you know, 12 a.m. here. Yeah, man. Like if you got to sleep, dude, like sleep. Welcome, Yuan. I'm no problem doing the live stream. Was due because I didn't do one for the month, so I will get to your question as well. I haven't forgotten about that. I'll get to over that at the end of the stream about Ordrago. So into the second minute of 7, so still plenty here. Kleindienst is certainly offside there. Can RBL steal it late? From an RB Leipzig perspective, hopefully so. Nice cross in, but Baumi's header is not accurate. Gladbach won't be in any rush to bring this back in, by any means. This is a decent break here. Gladbach already back in numbers though. Just no force going there. Oh wow. Lobbing ball. Nice idea though from Banzuzi. Just getting it on the volley though is, yeah, like when the ball's rising, it's always going to be difficult. Did very well to actually keep it on target, to be honest. So this is what I was wanting us to avoid because we've looked terrible in defence all game. There's been a couple of good saves from Costello and Baku, but yeah, for the majority of it, we've looked pretty vulnerable at the back. Very disorganised. This is better. Quicker play. Make a pass. Make a pass, son. Freaky. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Wow. Nah, Orban's got that. No nonsense defending. Bit of up and under though. Well, that's a foul. I was going to say, take the ball quickly. We've only got 45 seconds left. One last crack at it. Podcast this week, deep dive is going to be quite interesting for a 0-0 draw, but I'll make sure that it is quite interesting enough that it holds your attention. Have liked the look of Banzuzi and Bakayoko, the additions coming onto the pitch. Haven't seen much of Gomes though since coming on. We'll see him now here. And that is full time. The game ends 0-0 for match day 12 of the Bundesliga. I will have a quick look over a recap for the player watch battle, and we'll take some of your questions as well. If you're leaving the stream, that's okay. If people go to sleep and things like that, I understand that it's getting late in some places in the world. For me, it's quite early, 8 a.m. almost. So Cyril and Ballum, if you're leaving, thank you very much for joining into the stream. And really is a shame I'm taking my leave as well. Farewell. You're welcome. Now we'll go to Juan's comment as well. For those of you who are just joining in, RB Leipzig and Borussia Mönchengladbach played out a draw over at Borussia Park. There is, if you'd like to have any comments on the podcast, make sure to look out for the RBL Talk segment posts coming at you probably in about 10 minutes time or so. I'll be streaming for a couple more minutes after answering a question from Yuan once I find it, as Yuan had a very good question about Ouedraogo and his possible involvement on the game, and if anything was any different. So I'm just going to try and find it there. Unfortunately, I can't actually do a searching for that chat, which is a little disappointing with this software. Anyway, if you've just joined in, my name is Justin Crozer. I'm the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast on RB Leipzig, giving everyone deep dives from an international fan's perspective. A little bit of background while I wait for this this post here. I'm trying to find it from Joanne, which I can't. How far back was it? Um, Huh. We've even gone all the way up to the top of the chat and can't find it. I've been an RB Leipzig fan essentially since late end of 2009. So it's been a wild ride, that's for sure. And I've been doing the podcast since 2022. What sparked the podcast was the loss against Borussia Dortmund in the DFB Pokal before we ended up winning our first trophy the year later. I really can't find that post there from Joanne. Cool, thanks. Okay, so it's on Facebook. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. Took a little bit of time to find. So, do you think RBL would have generated more chances if Odrago had played? In short, yes, I do. I think that he gives the team a little bit more options in midfield, a little bit more creativity. Obviously, he's got that little bit of a spark to be able to just, that little X factor, I guess you could say, just to turn around and be able to, get something out of nothing, set up other teammates or, score from distance. I do think that we would have been a bit more aggressive as well going forward into the final phase of play. But, with the young lad injured again with his another knee, I wish him a speedy recovery, but there's no rush back. You want to make sure that he gets his body right because considering he's only just starting his footballing career, he's still only 19 years old. So you want to, get these things out of the way and hopefully he's not injury prone and things like that. So yeah, I do think that we would have generated more chances and I think we probably would have won it as well. For the simple fact of he brings so much more to the table and Xavier Schlager, his replacement doesn't give you as much creative options. He's more of a player that organizes the shape of the midfield. So where Odrago just sort of smashes that that line and breaks it on regular basis. So I'll do a quick recap of the Player Watch battle, but I'm not going to say who I thought won it. I would like your thoughts if you're still watching this stream or listening to the stream. For the podcast, you can either tell me in the stream and I'll put it in the show itself, or you can tell me on the social media channels. I will be posting the RBL Talk segment post. So a Player Watch battle was between Haris Tabakovic for Gladbach and Xavier Schlager for RB Leipzig. Tabakovic played 73 minutes, Schlager played 66 minutes, and we're coming over their overall stats. Both didn't score. Tabakovic had 26 touches, Xavier Schlager had 40 touches. Both were fouled once, both had one unsuccessful touch. Excuse me. The accurate passes for both players was 61% for Tabakovic, 86% for Xavier Schlager, coming off 25 of 29 passes completed, with Tabakovic 11 of 18 passes completed. And going through the rest of the statistics as well, 7 possession lost for Xavier Schlager, with Tabakovic losing possession 10 times as well. Both made a clearance. Tabakovic's shot was blocked. He had 4 recoveries. And Xavier Schlager doesn't look like he's had any recoveries from what I can see. Nothing on the recoveries front at the moment. So, yep. Match ratings are probably around the same. I'd probably say like a 6.8 or something. That's being a little bit generous, maybe a 6.6 or something like that, because both were subbed off. Other than that, that is pretty much it for me this evening. If you'd like to get involved with the podcast, make sure to look up RBL Talk in your podcast directories, or you can go to rbltalk.com and you should be able to have a one-click link tap to listen to the podcast wherever you listen to the podcast. Please make sure that you give this a like and subscribe to the channel or to the social media wherever you're watching this. And if you are enjoying the podcast as well, make sure to leave a rating and a review. I've been your host this evening, Justin Crozer, the host of RBL Talk. The tale of the take is that RB Leipzig played out a 0-0 draw in Borussia Park, and that's all from me until this week. I'll be releasing a podcast episode, hopefully just before the DFB Pokal game, which is on Wednesday, I do believe, when we are playing Magdeburg. So, until next time, I've been Justin Crozer. Bye-bye for now.